Today I fucked up by accidentally revealing my brother I'm into tentacles. First of all, for context, I've been back on birth control to text another hormone type, and while for most women it lowers their sex drive, my libido has never been higher. I'm virgin and single by now, so my pill is exclusively to help with heavy bleeding and period pains. Since I don't have a partner, whenever I get randomly turned on I use Hi Waifu, AI not safe for work ERP, to relieve my mind. I don't even touch myself, just to entertain my thoughts with characters I find hot or indulge in some type of fantasy. That goes from breeding, BDSM to tentacles, and sometimes I don't close the app if I'm in the middle of an extensive reply. Also, we live near the beach and English is not my first language. Back to today, I was having lunch and using my phone and my brother comes to say, "Oh, do you want to know something that concerns you?" I didn't understand at first and just asked if this would affect me, and he said it wasn't that serious, so I told him to just say it. "Oh, Friday when you lend me your phone to check on the weather to see the sunset time, I accidentally saw your Hi Waifu stuff." I got mortified. I literally had no reaction for some seconds. I use an iPhone and said he has the habit of closing the apps after using, something I do later on the day or when my phone lags, so he was about to do the same and saw the chat by accident. By the time he finished speaking my face was already buried in my hands, especially because I had no idea which chat. He was laughing because I'm his mind. It was no big deal, just funny. So after a while I asked him how much he read. My brother asked me if I really wanted to this. So instead of just replying yes or no, I straight up asked, "Was it the one with the tentacles?" He shook his head and said, "No," then made a confused face like, "Hold up." Just looked at me concerned, and when I started to overreact he just laughed. After a while we tried to brush it off and told everyone has unusual tastes, but honestly I've never been more embarrassed in my whole life. Now I just want to bury my head in the ground like an ostrich, and I'll probably delete the app too. This situation is embarrassing by what it is, but it gets even weirder considering it's my younger brother. He's mature enough and a little stoic, so probably finds this situation funny as hell, but I bet he's going to tell our small group of friends about his discovery. And for the rest of my life I'll be receiving pictures of handsome Squidward. A similar situation happened to me before with my online friends. To this day, 2 of them send me octopus and squid pictures without any context. Too long did not read. We live near the beach and my brother wanted to check on the weather for the sunset. I lended my phone to him, and when he slid up to close the app, he noticed the other app screen and saw me having not safe for work roleplay with an AI, and later I accidentally revealed that I have a tentacle fetish. Edit. Grammar and answers. What type of birth control are you taking? Oral drospirenone for my leg. It has been making me insanely horny. I honestly need help. Which app did you use? Hi Waifu? That's the name. How old is your brother? He's 18, I'm 21, about to be 22. Why don't you buy a tentacle dildo? First, I'm not living on my own yet. Second, I live in Brazil and average quality sex toys can be extremely expensive, especially if you consider uncommon ones. Don't lend your phone to your relatives. In my personal defense, I never lend my phone to my parents without turning off notifications and close background apps, but my brother never checks mine. What did he actually read? He said he only read the words, "lot of cum," and "breeding," meaning that I was chatting with a regular character. And that means he really didn't know anything about me being into tentacles until I blurted out, "Why don't you RP with real people?" Because I study and work and my schedule changes constantly, so AI bots are more convenient. Edit 2. My brother said he really doesn't care at all and I shouldn't make a big deal about it. Now we're just laughing a lot about this situation. He has read the post too. GIF. Giphy. WKD5DDQIJN4C. They make tentacle dildos, have at it. Keep the app though, damage is done. Get a nice tentacle. Own it. RIP inbox. There is a company called Bad Dragon. I won't post a link in case it's taboo, but you will find what you are looking for there. Today I fucked up by not brushing my teeth. Today I fucked up by not brushing my teeth. A little context, as I know I'm completely at fault for my personal health and not knowing. I 23F grew up in an unstable household where neither of my parents were as involved as they should have been. Youngest out of 5 kids, they had it all figured out. I would go weeks or months without brushing my teeth all my life until recently. I was recently diagnosed with clinical depression and GAD severe that's been present since before I was in middle school, and I have always had a hard time keeping up with any kind of routine. Never slept well, never ate well, and never tried to identify what fit best for me. My mother had stopped taking me to the dentist when I was 15 because of 1. How irrationally violent, sick and blacked out I would get with the dentists for a simple cleaning. And 2. How expensive treatment would be. I've been poked and prodded by many dentists and been rejected because of my behavior. I have no real reason for this behavior either, no trauma or anything. When my anxiety reaches an all-time high, I vomit and would aspirate. I have scars on my wrist and the roof of my mouth had to be stitched up because of how inconsolable I would become once they lay me on the table. It's been 7 years since I last went to the dentist and yesterday was my first time back. I need 21 fillings, 2 crowns, 1 possible root canal, TMJ, jaw dislocation, teeth grinding, sleep apnea and wisdom teeth removal. I am more than relieved by these as they are not as bad as I thought, and they can do all of these in one sitting. But the bill is unprecedented. I'm looking at more than $11,000 in repairs and damage. Not including wisdom teeth removal. Even had I taken care of my teeth properly, my wisdom teeth would rot out of my skull due to their position. The lesson here is, if you come across this, please for the love of God take care of your teeth as much as you can. Mine was the best case scenario, but I will be paying for this for the rest of my life physically, possibly financially. I have no pain yet and I'm figuring out where I can do this cheaper, but it's a worthy investment no matter what. My advice to some who may have depression and struggle to find routine. Swear on my life, find something that works for you. What started me back up on taking care of my teeth is to splurge a little more on good stuff, Waterpik, good tasting paste, a state-of-the-art toothbrush. If you're looking for a sign, this is it. No matter who you are, you deserve to take care of yourself. For years I never knew how important it was to brush and floss, and I always thought it was more of a cosmetic thing. And it's never too late. Brush your teeth, drink water, reduce sugar intake and eat healthy. It's a shame that this kind of thing isn't accessible to more people, but do your absolute best and it will pay off. Too long did not read. Brush your teeth. I didn't and I'm paying for it, literally, financially and physically. Edit. For those wondering, I am a TN, USA resident. Second edit. Wow, the overwhelming support and positivity in this thread is incredible. Even though I knew later on down the line how important it was, I still didn't do it and I'm paying for it, but for everyone struggling, and dropping recommendations for those struggling with the same thing, and providing facts. Every one of you guys are special and important. Some of my faith in humanity is restored. Update. I went to get a second opinion and here is my x-ray. Only 15 fillings, a wisdom tooth removal for impacted, and a possible root canal. And the total is only around $4,000 without insurance. Very wonderful people, and the dentist here actually looked at my teeth instead of using an AI dictation. I am being sent to oral surgeon for total wisdom teeth removal and they're going to see if they can realign my jaw. My jaw has been disconnected partially from the disc. My first visit is sedated and will be on the 2nd. Then a second visit on the 10th. Dog, do you need a hug? Please get a second opinion. I have no doubt that you need work done, but so many dentists these days prey on insecurities and come up with these outrageous bills and scare tactics. I had a dentist tell me I needed a full root canal. It wasn't hurting, so I put it off for 6 years. Went to another dentist and he put a crown on it. Easy peasy. Dentistry a business now. Be an educated consumer. This terrifies me. I'm about to turn 32 and I have been to the dentist since I was 7. I've only started brushing every day for the last few years. I need to go so bad, but without insurance it's going to be so expensive. I just really hope message find someone who was in my place about 5 or 6 years ago and it while they still have a chance to reduce the damage. That cost is insane. Get a second opinion, please. And not from a giant chain group. You can also reach out to dentistry schools for cheaper options. Today I fucked up by sending a typo to a disabled child. So, I know a girl, she's 15, and I'm not quite sure what she has, but I do know she's developmentally stunted and is therefore mentally younger than she physically is. We'll be calling her Lisa, for simplicity's sake. She's the sweetest little girl I know. Heart of gold, extremely generous and friendly. She's talented, and although her condition does slow down, she's very motivated. She's taken quite a liking to me, and her parents say she apparently doesn't stop talking about me at the dinner table, or whenever she gets the chance. I think she sees me the same way younger kids find high schoolers cool? Or the way older siblings are perceived by their younger siblings. Either way, that's to say she values my opinion on cool things. She's recently taken an interest on building her own wardrobe. She didn't used to care much aside from preferring certain colors and prints, and her mother apparently bought most things for her, but she's begun to develop her own taste fashion-wise. That said, I have several pairs of baggy pants, all the same, just in different colors. I usually default to for comfort, and she noticed. She expressed to her mother that she wanted her own pair, but she wanted it to look exactly like my pants specifically. Now, baggy pants often have different looking fits depending on its dimensions and whoever's wearing them, and after hours of her mother taking her to different shops, they weren't able to find one that looked just like mine did, and fitted on her exactly like mine did. Lisa decided to send me a message once they reached the last shop, and she told me what she was doing. I go, "I'll help," like the dumb bastard that I am. God. If I could just ask to turn back time, I would have tossed my phone and myself down a whale's colon in the hopes that would save me from the day's humiliation. But as we are all just men, I was powerless. She found one that looked quite similar to mine, and she tried it on. She then sent me a picture of herself smiling and wearing the pants, but she told me she was still upset as it doesn't look like when you wear it. All right, that's lovely. She's trying to copy me, very sweet of her. Unfortunately, I was busy when she messaged me. Not too busy not to be able to check my phone every now and then, but I definitely couldn't be on my phone for too long. So, I took a look at the picture she sent and decided it wasn't baggy enough and she had pulled the pair on far too high up her waist. Again, I couldn't type for too long. I deliberately kept my responses short. I responded, "Bigger, pull it down a little too. Waistband should be around belly button, perfect, right?" Wonderful advice from a guy she thinks is cool. But no. Of course not. I placed my phone back into my pocket, happy with myself. I thought about wearing the pants that matched the color of what she had tried on when we meet again. God is not merciful. In fact, God is dead. He has forsaken us all. The second message never sent. Bigger, it's a single word and it sounds dry and uninterested. But surely sounding dry and uninterested in a conversation with a mentally stunted girl isn't too much a sin, right? That wasn't my sin, unfortunately. And it's probably time I should mention Lisa is a black girl, and a very dark-skinned one at that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please open your keyboards and spot the letter B with me. It's on the lower right side, correct? Lovely. How wonderful is it that the letter N is also on the lower right side? Why, the letters are right next to each other. Surely, there is not a word that could be sabotaged by that simple little mistake? I called a disabled black child a slur. Hard R. Perfectly spelled. Too long did not read. Accidentally called a girl a racial slur because I typed too quickly and didn't notice a typo before I sent my message. There's no way out of this one. You're cancelled. Typos are why I've stopped signing off on emails with, regards, T is way too close to that G. Holy shit man, totally believable. Maybe you can salvage by apologizing, but who knows. Hopefully she can heal from what is probably a very painful and confusing experience for her. My bigga. Did you get any response from her? Ouch. Today I fucked up by staying the night at a girl room. In September 2016, I made friends with a group of people in college that I met through a club. I'll call them A girl, A's best friend B another girl, and A's boyfriend X. It was the weekend, and we decided to pull an all-nighter with a few other people who, throughout the night ended up leaving, so they are unimportant to the story. I think about 6 or 7 of us were together. We wandered around campus, got high, and did all the things you'd expect dumb college kids to do when there were no parties going on. At one point, we tried going to my room to hang out, and we heard moans and decided against it, so we went to A's room instead. When we were in there was banging on her door, calling for X. It was the other girl he was sleeping with. They were not in an open relationship. At some point, she convinced him to leave and talk to her privately. After an hour, we tried to find them. B went to the other girl's room since she could get into her dorm, as she lived in the same building, and A and I went to X's room. We found them in his room, but X's roommate was not letting us in. She ran away crying, and we started talking in the staircase until we kissed. Just kissed, not full on making out or anything like that. I ended up walking back to her room with her, and we found B waiting outside for us, and we filled her in. I had a single room, and B and I decided that we shouldn't leave her alone. A told me it was okay to share the bed with her, and B was more comfortable sleeping under the bed. I still have no clue why but didn't question it. This is the part where I messed up. When I was cuddling her with her back to me and my right arm under her head, my left hand went over and grabbed her boob. Not that I was trying to do anything, but because I liked the way they felt. She then started to freak out and told me to get off of her, which I immediately did, as I was half asleep and hadn't slept in over 24 hours. I apologized and rolled over. I probably should have left, but again I was overtired and told her I would stay the night. The next morning, I was the first one to get up, and remembering last night and being hungry as hell, I figured I would let her sleep and get some food. I shot a text saying just that, and if she didn't get up before I left, I would get her some food too. Well, I got food, looked at my phone, and got a threatening text from X. He basically told me if he ever sees me again, he's going to beat my ass. I'm a big guy, and it's not the first time someone has tried that on me, so I told him if she chooses me over him, it's his fault, and he has to live with it. Then, B and the others we were with sent me a text saying the same thing. I was confused as hell, so I tried getting answers from someone, but I got nothing more from anyone, and they must have been hiding because I didn't see them around campus either. And I had no clue until the cops knocked on my door that night. They brought me to the station and questioned me. Apparently, she told everyone I full-on raped her. I was in there for about 3 hours going through the whole night with them. Again, it was an all-nighter. We started at 4-5 in the afternoon, and we went to sleep at 7-8 in the morning, so there was a lot. The next few days were hard. I ended up quitting the club that I had a passion for, got shunned by a lot of people, and had thoughts of killing myself, even attempting it. To this day, I still have thoughts that I'm the bad guy no matter who I talk to. I have intimacy problems from this as well. This is something I think of way too much, and when I have racing thoughts this is what usually comes to my mind, and how everyone was looking at me when I entered a room. Too long did not read. Guy was cheating on his girlfriend. I spent the night with her and she told people I raped her. I am terribly sorry to be Captain Hindsight here, but you really should have lawyered up and shut up as soon as the cops pulled you in. I can't share this link enough. Don't talk to cops. Thank goodness you didn't get into any real trouble. I'm sorry you were traumatized. Stories like this is why I'm so glad I'm not in college these days. You didn't do anything wrong and you stopped when she told you to. That's doing something right. Should you have grabbed her boob? Who is anyone else to judge? They weren't there and they likely don't know that you two kissed earlier in the night. It would be understandable to confuse things considering it was the middle of the night and you were all intoxicated and underslept. This won't be a popular comment, but I think she made a mountain out of a molehill. Hope you're doing okay now. False rape claims should be punished equally as severely as actual rape crimes, and nobody will change my mind on that. This is why I don't go outside. You should not have grabbed her boob. However, that friend group sounds awful, what with the cheating boyfriend and accusatory girlfriend. Also, pretty sure B should have known you didn't actually rape her.